What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So I just got off the phone with a dude. Found some stuff on Facebook. You know, I can't leave well enough alone. When I see a deal, I gotta go get it. So, you know, it's kind of like every time you go buy a car, it's like everybody enjoys the chase and they enjoys the fun. So I got a really good deal on a Supercharged LX. It's gonna need some work, but let's go take a look at it. Go pick up this Mustang. It's a 1987 Ford Mustang LX hatchback. It's the Oxford white with black trim. It looks really clean in the pictures. I'm sure it's probably not, being we're in Ohio, but it's probably decent enough to be happy with the price I'm paying for it. We're gonna go take a look at this car. I don't know what we're gonna do with it. I know that my cousins like to race with me too, and it's never really fun just to watch people, so it might be this year's beat up car, do a little bit of vlogging on it, blow some shit up, and have some fun. Probably just a big rat nest of shit, but we're about to find out, and I'm about to go through it and get it running at the dyno shop. Me and the mad scientist hook it up to the dyno and have some fun. But anyways. All right, YouTube, so I finally made it home. I actually started to do this video a couple days after I got home, had a chance to look over the car. You can see it back here in the back. Got it still sitting on the trailer because we're not really sure what we're gonna do to it just yet. It's a really clean car for the most part, as you see it right here. But I mean, some telltale signs the car's been sitting a long time is, I mean, look at the polished pipes. They're like rotted and stuff. The pans underneath aren't terrible, but you know, there's some surface rust right here in this bracket, but the pan isn't rotted out. However, the pan on the driver's side, let me show you what Ohio looks like when we have to deal with this crap. Y'all ready for this? Yeah. You got this crap. To be honest with you, the torque box are actually clean. The bottom of the tank's actually clean. I mean, underneath of it, up here, you know, on the frame rails and stuff. I bought this car in Northeast Ohio. It's probably been here. I mean, I think the tag said, you know, 14 was the last time it was actually tagged and titled. You know, this thing was just basically a fucking basket case to somebody. I'm not real sure what I want to do to this car. You know, the interior's in really good shape. I mean, if you look at it. That's one thing about Ohio cars, is we have really shitty carpet, but a lot of our interior isn't sun beat and beat the snot, for that matter, because the car doesn't get driven year round. But it's an 87. Somebody converted it to mass air, tried to use some China 42s there. Those suck, by the way. I own a lot of Fox bodies. This is just basically a parts car to me. But what we've decided to do is we've decided to actually try to save the car. Unlike the blue one behind me, you say, oh, that's a nice car back there. It ain't. I hate to say it, but we're gonna actually try to save this car. And the reason why I say that is because my man Fred, my cousin Fred, I'm gonna cut this whole pan out. I just happened to have a pan from a driver's side of a car that I saved that had been hit real hard just for this very reason. So it would behoove me not to at least try, you know what I mean? So what me and cousin Fred are gonna do today is we are going to try to get this car running. Let me show you what's under the hood. First things first, before I show you under the hood, fellas, this is a fucking no-go. First of all, ain't that a speaker inline fuse? He's got this ran back underneath to the fuel pump. What? Don't do that. There's so much hacking going on nowadays with Fox bodies. Guys, there's a lot of good channels out there. It's got a lot of really cool mods. It's an unofficial shout out. Go check out Brutal's videos. Go check out Dula, Tussin, Foxcast Media, just to name a few. Anyways, there's a lot of good channels out there. It's got a lot of cool mods. Guys, do it right. You know what I mean? Don't hack. And this is like the type of shit I'm talking about. Boom, I got a supercharger. This came on a parts car, obviously, but we're gonna make this parts car run because we actually heard this engine run. It actually runs damn good when it doesn't foul the plugs. I mean, the guy had no idea what he was doing. Come on, with the flex fan, bro. You know, we're talking stock MAF of 42s and an entry-level V1. I think this is an A-Trim. Old school, bro. Old school. So we go inside. You know, I'm grateful. At least it runs. I mean, you got a reman computer. That could be from like a Taurus and shit. And then somebody, being it's an 87, obviously somebody converted it. You can see this is the conversion right here. So anyways, so what are we going to do with this damn thing? It's got a 373 axle, solid hatch. Car's solid except for that pan. For some reason, it's like somebody poured a fucking bucket of salt on the sand, or on that pan in the back, or on the driver's side, and just left it sit. Like everything else is solid for the most part. Towers do got a little bit of rust. That's Ohio for you. So what me and cousin Fred are gonna do today, we know the thing runs. So what me and cousin Fred are gonna do today is we are gonna convert this back to speed density. This was an 87 car. So DC nomenclature was the automatic speed density. I gotta plug my vacuum back in from the map. So I'm just gonna cheat and go right over here to the vacuum block. Because remember, speed density needs the vacuum source for the map. I'm gonna check my vacuums. We're gonna switch this to 19s. We're gonna put the DC computer in, and we're gonna fire this up without the charge pipe on to see if this thing runs good. You know, obviously speed density doesn't need a mass air. So we can go ahead and eliminate this and just kind of really quick be able to know if this motor runs good. At that point, we're just gonna go ahead and change the oil, and cousin Fred's gonna start doing some mods to it. So I'm trying to save a Fox body. I got a special place in my heart for the Oxford white cars, especially LXs. I actually own the white cars, an Oxford white car that I have, the GT, which you guys have seen, the 363 in it. So we're gonna go ahead and try to save a Fox bodies today. And then maybe some of the plans we might have for the future of this car. Obviously, we're gonna do the stance video, 3-inch studs, changing your stance of your car. We're gonna put black Cobra R's on here. You know, I'm a Cobra R guy. Get that wheel sitting out. It'll be nice, it'll be clean. It's already got 373s. And at least my cousin Fred, I'm like the AutoZone for Fox bodies when it comes to parts. So if something breaks, at least cousin Fred can just go in the back and get something. So let's get started. All right, so we started hammering down on this. We got the intake off, the upper intake off. Only took about 10 minutes. You know, couple hoses, throttle body bracket. As you can see, the guy's got 24s in here. I don't even know if these are Ford, but I know he tried to use 42-pound injectors from China, and those things fucking suck. Anyways, one thing that's always good practice is this thick tape over top of this when you get these out. Just if you're messing around with the lower intake or something, and you don't drop a bolt in there, because you don't want to go fishing, I can promise you that. So our next move is to get the other injectors in. So as you can see, we've gotten a bunch of actual 19-pound injectors. These are Explorer injectors. You got a nice little spray pattern on the bottom. They atomize better. And then this is the computer we're going to use that I told you I had. Speed Density E7ZF DC. This is an auto speed density Mustang only. So let's keep getting it.
I know that ain't right.
All right, so me and cousin Fred here are trying to get this thing put back together. And I wanted to show you guys a couple things. You know, if you're deleting a lot of your smog and whatever and your AC stuff, I mean, go ahead and make sure, I mean, look at the cracking on these hoses. This is just age, guys. This isn't your fault. You know, take the stuff off and buy some vacuum blocks and zip tie them. I always lock the vacuum blocks with zip ties and just snip them. You know, this is cracking here. You could actually block this off and block this one off and just run here. I mean, there's a lot of things you can delete when you're going through if you're getting rid of your smog and some of your AC and shit. Look at this. I mean, this guy had a snapped off bolt in the front and didn't even have the right one in the rear. So this side, you know, for intentions purposes of getting the car running, we're just going to go ahead and, you know, go ahead and, it's pretty secure. We're going to check it with a 12 volt. We're going to check it with the key on, make sure it doesn't leak all over the place because we don't want fire and shit. So I'm pretty sure we'll get started here soon. We're about to start putting the intake back on the top. I'm going to delete some of the vacuums and make it run right. So we're going to stick the DC in here. You can see the Scotch lock. That's a big no-no. Anyways, stay with me. We'll see this thing fires up. You know, being speed density, I can leave this open. We don't need mass air. We had a couple of vacuums we hooked up. We got the vacuum routing right because we're going to be deleting the AC and smog and all that shit anyway. So Here's a moment of truth, folks. Let's see if I'm right. Go ahead and hit it, bro. It probably won't run real good right out the bump, but we'll see. Converted it back to speed density. We'll see if the computer's even any good. Ready? Go ahead. This motor wouldn't run worth a shit before. I hear some vacuum, but we'll figure it out.
It could be the supercharged charge pipe being missing too.
It needs an idle set. Go rev it up a little bit. Sounds like it's got a damn cam in it, don't it? That's good. That's good, cut it off. We actually were tinkering with it just a little bit more. I wanted to add this to the video. The EGR ain't working at all, really. Because if you plug this in, then and when it gets vacuum, you can see it was working, but it would just bog the motor down. That's why it ran like shit. And you can see it runs good now. So anyways, the motor runs good. As you guys know, we switched it back to speed density. Thank God that DC computer worked, huh? If that DC computer wouldn't have worked, we'd have been effed. I guess I would have stuck a DA1 in there, it'd have been fine, but got a few things we need to delete and check out some vacuums or whatever, because I think Fred still wants to run heat in this car for the most part, so I got to make sure that the heater box has got its vacuum. But yeah, man, there it is. Runs good. And we're gonna change the oil. I think Fred's gonna change the oil because it probably ain't seen new oil in forever. And we're gonna see if the thing actually runs and drives. That's the next step. We know the motor runs good. So anyways, thanks for following. Make sure you hit that like and sub. Check out some other guys' channels, like I said earlier in the video, and we'll continue vlogging.